for this, for my family, for my mama, for my friends, for my bros. I gotta stack out this gold. I tell you I'm on the road. About to get all this dough. Me and no fuck niggas know. I swear to God we the ghosts. This ain't the story they told. Man, if you know, then you know. I never had to tell my dogs that we on road for greatness.
Welcome back to the Real O Show podcast. This is a special one. You know, this is another internal pod, just me and Joshua. But you know, this is our 50th episode. It's our 50th podcast. So it's been crazy. It's been a journey. We obviously wanted to make sure you guys know because it's just a little milestone on the journey. But Joshua, how do you feel about it?
Feel good. It's the first 50 of 10,000. So we got a long journey ahead of us, but
for sure,
it's all about the small wins. Like we realized we come up on 50, we drop once a week, so it's like we're almost at that year mark.
Yeah.
It's exciting to stick with it for a year. Says a lot about the podcast, but it only makes us feel like we want to do it forever. So
absolutely, and it's funny because Leno before he left was like, "Oh, how does it feel that it's your 50th podcast?" I'm like, I don't feel anything. Like I was like, I kind of have my mindset on 100 because I want to do something cool with like the 100th episode, like whether we do it on the beach. I know we kind of talked about that. There might be some more logistics, like the 500th podcast, like doing something crazy there. Like I'm more set out there. Like 50th is just like you said, man. It's just a mile marker on the journey. Like it's not like I was let's get to 50 and it's all been just fun. I think that's why we've been able to stick with it. Like if we're going to give any piece of advice here, like it's just been fun.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's hard. Like even today we're on number 50 and it's like it's Memorial Day weekend. When we're recording this, the Monday before we drop it. But it's like we've been working 13-hour days on our off days just to fucking keep the dream alive and like keep these relationships alive and keep pushing what we're trying to do. And it's like we're burning the midnight oil, bro. It's a off day Monday and we've fucking been grinding all day and we're like, damn, I need to be grinding more.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just part of the process. But as we kind of get into it a little bit, who has been your favorite podcast guest episode so far? First 50. Or first 49, because this is the 50.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had a lot of really good ones. I don't know if I have an exact favorite. I would say like one of my favorite was just like Rashad, just because like Rashad Bateman. I think he's gonna have like a crazy year this year, so it's like kind of cool. We get to like get him before he was like super big. He's already big, but like before he's like a superstar. I loved the President Docking episode.
I'm throwing that one in there for sure. For me.
President Docking is an absolute beauty. And then maybe a little left field one, but just a guy we always like having on, Steve Babiak, the Benny's Bakery owner. Got to be one of our favorite. I mean, he's a guy that's like every 50 podcasts we do, he's going to be part of 2 of them every 50. Like he's just that guy. He's just that guy where he's like, he's going to be on. And I was even thinking like we have some reoccurring guests. I was thinking once we start like getting the movement in, we need to start making like reoccurring guest t-shirts. Like low key, like a Real O Show. Like you could only get this set of Real O Show gear if you're a reoccurring guest. Like I was just thinking about it the other day. I'm like, it'd be kind of funny if we get someone who's like, once we get bigger, this podcast doesn't make any money, so we're not gonna sit here and act like we got it. But I'm saying like it would be kind of cool. Like as we expand, Part of My Take does that, and they said they made them, but they've only given them to like 5 people, and like one of the guys was rocking it, and I saw it, and I was like, damn. That's such a good idea because it's like it almost becomes its own currency of like you have to be on the show to get the shirt.
What makes them a reoccurring guest though?
The reoccurring guest is for Part of My Take or for us.
Would just like what would be like they come on twice? They come on once a month?
Yeah, no. They come on like more than once. Like a reoccurring guest is like someone who's been on more than once. Which
I got it.
In our 50, we've had a few that have already reoccurring, but it's only because we don't want to just do it ourselves, right?
For sure.
Like we want to bring in other people. So I'll flip the question, like who has been your favorite guest in the first 49?
I mean, you kind of took mine. I mean, I would say Docking. It was probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
That was just an electric conversation. Rashad was a great one just because it was fun. Like you could throw Rook in there.
For sure.
Because that was just a crazy small world thing. Like him being in Clemson. He's going to play in the NFL next year, but it's like he grew up 40 minutes from us, and we had no idea who he was until, 2 days before, really, because they were like, hey, he's coming in. We did our research, and I was like, no fucking way he's from River Rouge, Michigan. Like, so that was really cool. Man, what was another one I enjoyed? I honestly, maybe this isn't left field, but I would say I think we've had some of our like best conversations with Tip on.
For sure.
I would definitely
Tip's like a wash, and like when I think of guests, I don't really think of Tip. I'm like, Tip's just one of the boys. And maybe like the people that listen to this.
Now, I mean, it feels now like he's a guest
for
because
sure.
we don't have him on.
You're right. He
much.
definitely does. It's like special when we see him. It's just like different.
So that's why
Okay.
I would throw Tip in there, and that of course could never forget our boy Get Your Keys with Kevin Fees. He's always a pleasure to have on.
All of our best friends have been on, so it's like obviously all those are like good conversations.
I even had Lorenzo. Damn.
Ginge. Like we've had
Ginge. Damn.
We've interviewed so many people, and Ginge is like one of our most downloaded podcasts.
That was that was like our third or fourth podcast. It has our most like audio downloads.
Yeah.
It was in a good
Not
time.
video.
It was titled. It was titled correctly for the moment. But as we keep going, the next 50. What are you looking forward to? Who do you want to get on? I think there's a lot of ways we could take it. It's hard for me to be like, who do we want to get on? Because it's like, of course, man, I want to get on someone super fucking cool. But it's like, I don't know, man. I'm just kind of living life. So I have things I'm looking forward to. But for like the next guest, I think that's hard for me. But if you have somebody in mind who you think,
I don't know if I have like someone specifically. I want to get more artists on. Like our next two podcasts you guys are gonna listen to after this are both artists. Leno TK, who's an up and coming artist in Vancouver, and then we have his brother, produced by KJ with the tag KJ. What you got going on, man? Who is like Grammy nominated, worked with Lil Baby, Lil Durk, Future, Meek Mill. Like he's gotten songs with everyone. He's just a great guy. So definitely want to do more music takes. I would love to get like a guy like Ben Mala on. Like I don't think that's like that crazy to think of. Like we could get a guy like that on. It's more or less just shooting the shot, and that's why I wanted to put us on wax, and I wanted us to throw some people out there because it forces us.
I got one.
It forces us to do it. So yeah, who do you got?
One. I think in the next 50, I think we can get the Money Buys Happiness crew on.
I was thinking about those guys.
I think that would be cool.
I would like to get them individually though. Like
I would do it individually.
I want to get it's Ernesto and
Anthony.
Anthony. I would like to get them both individually. Anyone from Nelk. I would love to get anyone in the Nelk group.
I like separating them because
for sure.
Like as you do a duo, everybody kind of groups you together. It's like you want to get them away. You want to hear like exactly what makes them tick and why they want to get into it. Because it might be the same, it might be a little different. I think it's good. So that would be like my guess. And I don't think that's far fetched at all.
No.
But things I'm looking forward to just in general, I think it's adding more to like our podcast equipment, like that part of the show growing, really starting to like figure out how to build like a stage or a set with what we have.
For sure.
I think is going to be very cool. You've been talking a lot about it, and I'm all in just because I've gotten into editing. So I like the visually pleasing view now and making sure everything's good. Like you've definitely got me into that, and you were always right about that. Man, I would just say just staying consistent, like staying like thinking 100 podcasts ahead. And not getting caught up, with like the downloads, the views, the subscribers. Like I think all that's coming. I think that's all part of the journey. And like we always say, it only takes one video, short form, long form, podcast, one guest, one person to see it. So I think it's just remaining optimistic about all of that as well. But I'm gonna flip it to you.
No, I agree. I mean, it's just like us just keep building our craft, whether it's like us building the block of like the production of it. So just like building, like making our production better, our set better. Like obviously we want to do a podcast studio, hopefully within the next 20 episodes, like that's something we obviously want to do. Like I said, this podcast does not make money. So we're trying to make it happen. But I definitely want to just keep doing that, keep collaborating. Like I said, the year 2023 is the year of collaboration. And I think every year after this is going to be the year of collaboration. But I think that's everything. Like we saw this weekend, shooting a bunch of content with Leno TK and produced by KJ. Like those guys, it's fun. Like we grind it all weekend, but it's fun. And like we still have a lot of work ahead of us because we got to edit everything. But our shots, we're like, oh fuck, these shoots look cool. And it's like, again, that's half the battle. But it's exciting. It's exciting to see like where it can go, right? And I think that this is just the next 50 is just see you in a year, right?
For sure.
Like,
it's funny because we did this shoot in front of, and you guys, and we'll put some videos out there of Leno. We did this great view of New York City with the drop down mic. And it looked kind of cheesy because I'm like sitting there like trying to hold the mic as still as possible. Obviously you can't see it in the camera, but the fact that like we have like some behind the scenes shots of that and like documenting that, and I just like all I could think is like 5 years from now, like we're gonna have that picture like taped up and be like, I can't believe we were doing that shit when we have this like perfect studio.
For
and,
sure.
We're doing all the rappers. So, but
yeah.
Man, I don't have anything else left to say.
I think this was a good, just a little internal podcast for everyone.
And I do have one. Yeah. I do have one thing as we close out here. For anybody who watches our YouTube podcast, downloads our audio, even watches like any type of content, like for real, thank you. Like it truly means a lot. Like we appreciate it. I'm going to be honest. I personally don't care like how well the content does, but like I love that you guys are supporting you because that is the goal. Obviously I'm not doing it for the views and the likes, that helps because it gets us in front of people. Obviously will help grow our show, but for anybody who like pays attention to us at all, we really appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed. Me and Joshua like love you guys for it. So
appreciate it. Yeah, no, we really do. It's been crazy over this last like year how much different it is from like the start till now, and it's like we're just still getting started. Like it's just such the beginning that it's like if you follow us now, like you are truly at the very beginning of this journey. Yeah. And it's gonna be cool to like see where we take this because we are gonna take it to the moon, and it's just time will tell.
For sure. But appreciate it, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you.
I sold them packs to get them racks. Shit, I was stuck on my lows, and now I'm trying to get up. I told them niggas what's up, and now I'm singing. Yeah. If you gon' go, then go. Don't tell me you won't. I want them diamonds on my neck to make me look like I'm cold. That ain't for you and none of these hoes. That's just for me and my bros. I gotta fight for my balls. I gotta stack out this gold. I tell you I'm on the road. About to get all this dough. We ain't no fuck niggas, no. I swear to God we the ghosts. This ain't the story they told. Man, if you know